Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and I'm back with the Forestry mod for part 2 of my mod spotlight / tutorial on Forestry. This is an add-on for Buildcraft, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you definitely want to check out my part 1 mod spotlight. This is a pretty neat mod and I definitely recommend you guys checking it out. So without further ado, let's get started building some more cool toys. Okay guys, now the next couple of farms I'm going to show you work pretty similarly to the way that the tree farm did in episode 1, so I'm going to go over these rather quickly and then move on to some other parts of the mod. So briefly, I'm making the first piece of what we're going to need for a wheat farm. This is the combine. That's actually the second piece, I lied. And we're also going to make another one of these sturdy machines, and with bronze in the four corners and glass, we've got a farm. So let's lay down a farm and see how it works. You can also see that I cleared out the area where I had my tree farm, just because I want to show you guys how everything goes. So let's lay down a farm. Ta-da! And if I just drill down here and give myself some power teleport pipes here. Let's go ahead and hook this guy up. Now I'm going to set this to frequency 10 again. Now, as soon as we give it power, it's going to flatten out the landscape, which has already been done from previously. And all we need to do to put in this farm to get it going is two things. First, we need some standard dirt. And of course, it would help if I set my frequency to the right setting here. And as you can see, as it's laying down the dirt for this area, it's also laying down the water that it's going to need, which is pretty nifty if I do say so myself. Another thing it's doing is it's automatically tilling the land, so that's pretty cool. So there we go. All these little holes are filled with water, and it's pretty much tilled the land for you automatically. The next spot, as you can guess, is seeds. So let's find those in TMI. Good question. Where are they at? There they are. Found them. So let's go ahead and put these guys in, and you can see they'll quickly get planted. Oh, there they go. Gonna need a few more stacks of those to fill up this big old area, aren't we? Sweet. Alright, so we've laid out our dirt, we've laid out our seeds, everything's ready to go. The next job is, of course, to harvest them, and that's where the combine comes in. So let's go ahead and give ourselves another power transfer pipe. Hook that guy up like so, and we can put in our combine. Now this guy, just like the tree mod, doesn't have any right-click interface, and we can just go ahead, for this time, we're going to go ahead and hook up a chest. And we'll let the output of these things land in the chest. Now, if you were to pump out from the sky, it's going to work just like the harvester for the trees, in that seeds will come out the top and the bottom, and wheat will come out any of the four sides. But because I have a chest sitting next to it, everything's going to land in the chest. So let's go ahead and give ourselves some bone meal and see what happens. Okay, bone meal is ready, so let's go ahead and activate it. So what should happen now is that guy should get automatically harvested and automatically retilled, and then the seed should get automatically replanted in that slot. Up, there it goes. And if we look in the chest, you can see the seeds and the wheat that came out were automatically deposited in the chest. It was deposited here just because of the way chests work. So we can go ahead and bone meal up some more stuff and let it get replanted again. And all these guys will land right back in here. And just like with the tree farm, you're probably going to want to set up a wooden pipe that pumps directly out of this thing into this guy and get the seeds replaced. So that's the wheat farm. Okay guys, so that was the wheat farm, so let's check out the next type of farm here. First, get some melons. And get yourself 2 full melons, like so. You're also going to need a pair of pumpkins, some glass. And the next thing you're going to need, actually I think I need 4 melons, so let me make a couple more of those guys. Excellent. Next we're going to need to make the forester and harvester that we saw before. So these are the tree versions of these machines. So I'm going to go ahead and put these guys like so. So, Arboretum and Logger. These are the ones that do the tree farm. We're going to take our Arboretum, again, surround it with glass, put a pumpkin and melons in there, and we get a pumpkin farm. And do the same thing with a Logger. Pumpkins and melons, and we get a pumpkin harvester. Guess what? This works exactly the same as the other two guys. However, this machine works with both melons and pumpkins. So we can put this guy down, and you see we've got a slot for dirt, a slot for sand, and a slot for seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and put some dirt in there, and let's watch the guy build. I'm going to activate this lever. Ah, interesting. It does something a little different. There you go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put one stack of pumpkin seeds in and see how it lays out this pattern. So we've got our pumpkin seeds here. Let's go ahead and put them in our pumpkin farm slot for seeds, and it should start planting. Excellent. And it would lay out the same pattern if we were going to go ahead and use, for example, melon seeds. And I'm guessing that if I knock this guy off here, it now planted a melon seed into place. So you can pretty much use these interchangeably, because pumpkins and melons basically grow pretty much the same. So this looks like a pretty efficient layout for a pumpkin/melon farm. And that's how the pumpkin guy works. And of course, as you would expect, we can go ahead and place down the other machine on top here, and it would harvest and collect the seeds, and the seeds would get output at the top of the machine, and the pumpkins would get output the side of the machine. So that's the pumpkin farm. Alright guys, so you've got all these awesome tree farms, you're producing a ton of saplings. What are we going to do with all these extra saplings we've got laying around while this tree farm is producing way more saplings than it's using? That's a good question. We're going to use it to produce a new type of fuel for Buildcraft. As you know, oil can sometimes be hard to come by, and you're probably sitting to yourself saying, man, I hate running around looking for oil fields. You know, I wish I had a renewable resource type of energy that I could get going with this. Well, there is a solution, and let me show you what it is. So first we want to make some gears. I'm going to get some wooden gears, and then I'm going to upgrade them to stone gears. The stone gears we're going to go ahead and upgrade to copper gears. Excellent. Alternatively, we can take a stone gear and surround it with bronze to get a bronze gear. So that's copper gear and bronze gear. In this case, we're going to need the bronze gear. We take that sturdy machine, put some bronze gears in the corners there, and I need to get myself some more glass. And we've got the fermenter. This guy is going to turn your extra saplings into fuel for your engines. And let me show you how. Now the thing is, we've got this new type of fuel, so of course we're going to need a new type of engine to run it. And for this, we're going to need to create a biogas engine. So basically, this is the engine you use when you're using fuel produced by your biofarms and your fermenters. So it's 2 bronze gears, a piston, some glass, and some bronze on the top. And that's your biogas engine. So let's figure out how to use this fermenter, shall we? So I've played out a simple system here for which I've set up my fermenter on the ground, and don't worry, I know this looks a little confusing, but I'll explain it. And I've got it connected to power because, you know, just like all Buildcraft machines, you need some power to power this guy. That's going to hook up over there. And you're going to need a wooden waterproof pipe to pump the fuel that you're producing out of this fermenter and into your tank. Pretty simple, straightforward Buildcraft setup so far. Now the fermenter is going to produce biomelange, and that's the fuel that you can use inside your biogas engines. So how does it work? Well, pretty simple and straightforward. So there are three components that you have to put together in a fermenter to make this material. First, you're going to need some saplings, which you're going to have a huge surplus of once you build a forest farm and get your tree farm going. Second, you're going to need some fertilizer, which I showed you how to make in the first episode. Lastly, you're going to need some water, which I'm only going to use a water bucket now because I don't want to set up a whole pump system, but you'd probably want to set up a pump to pump some water into this fermenter. Now, for those of you who are looking at this saying, whoa, there's three things I got to pump into this one machine, how do I do that? It's actually pretty straightforward. Depending on what side you pump into is how you want to do it, and here's how it works. From above, you want to put saplings, so all your saplings should go into the top of the machine. From below, you want to put in your fertilizer, and then from any of the four sides, you're going to want to put your water. Now, I foolishly put my power supply at the bottom. That's probably not the best place for it. Your power supply should probably either come in on one of the other sides. So water on the sides, saplings go in the top, and fertilizer goes in the bottom. So let's check this guy out. First, I'm going to put in the fertilizer. Ta-da! Then the saplings, and then I'm going to place my water bucket. And as you can see, you want to place your water buckets in the bottom there, and it's got this little supply of water here. Let's get a little bit more water just to get things going. Alrighty. And like I said, if you're going to be build crafty about this, you definitely want to do it in a good way with pipes. Now, let's give this guy some power. Send in power in here, and you can see it's got this cool little interface here that shows you how much it's getting through. You can see that it's kind of using fertilizer as a fuel source, and it's burning through your saplings rather quickly, and it's draining the water rather quickly as well and producing this biomelange. And that biomelange, because I have it in this little pump here, is getting pumped out. Awesome. So now we've got this cool biomelange stuff. So maybe I should just pump some water in real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, set up a quick pump. Let's go ahead and activate it. We should start getting some water coming in there pretty quickly. And as you can see, the left bar here fills up. That's the water supply that currently exists inside this fermenter. And the right side is how much of a supply of biomelange there is in there. And that's why the green side keeps going down, because it keeps getting pumped out automatically by the wooden pipe on the side there. So that's a pretty neat little interface, and I'm kind of impressed by that, if I do say so myself. So that's probably a good amount of biomelange for now. Let's go ahead and set up our biogas engine. Okay, so I've got myself an empty bucket. I've got my biomelange here. I'm going to scoop it up into the bucket, and you can see it's this cool little green liquid. I'm going to open up my biogas engine, and you'll see there's two bars here. I'm going to put the biomelange in, and it looks like it's ready to run because it's got the fuel that it needs. However, we're going to find out in just a moment that it's not running. What's up with that? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Biogas engines will never explode, so you don't have to worry about them reaching the red state. In fact, you want them to reach the red state because a biogas engine will not run unless it's hot enough to combust the fuel in this engine, and at the moment it is not hot enough to do that. We can make it hot enough by putting some lava in. If we put a lava bucket in, it's going to use up that lava supply that we just placed in there and start running. And you can see that it really didn't use up much of the lava that we put in there. And right now it's pumping out, and it is running actually, and I'll explain what's happening here in a moment. This guy on the left is filling up. Why is that? Well, biogas engines not only run on biomelange, but they'll also run on water and milk with differing degrees of efficiency. Water, it doesn't really run through very quickly, or it does run through rather quickly, I mean. So water, it won't last too long running on water, but it will produce a small amount of energy for you. And as you can see, it's running just fine. Milk is more efficient than water, but it still doesn't produce as much energy as the biomelange. The other thing is that the pump will continue running once it's gotten enough energy to run with the lava. So once it heats up and has enough heat from the lava in there, it doesn't use the lava anymore as long as it's running on biomelange and milk. But if it's running on water, it needs a steady supply of lava to keep itself hot. So I'm thinking running the biogas engine right next to the pump here was probably a bad idea because it quickly started filling up with water. But that was just me being, silly and demonstrating the way this works. So that's biomelange, and that's how you can run a biogas engine, either using water, milk, or biomelange to get the thing going. Just remember you need to give it a little bit of lava to kickstart it, but if you're using the biomelange, it retains the heat of the lava and only uses a small amount to get itself going, and it will never explode. So I did mention that there's another fuel source, didn't I? Yes. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. But there's another fuel source. How cool is that? And in order to produce that fuel source, we're going to need a still. So let's go check out the still. And I'm going to go place it over here for a particular reason. The still converts biomelange into biofuel. And biofuel can be placed in your combustion engines just like regular fuel. And that's it. It works just like regular fuel. Now I believe that it's a little less efficient than regular fuel. Whereas regular fuel will produce 5 energy units per tick, I believe that biofuel produces 4 energy units per tick. But hey, for a renewable resource, that's pretty darn good. So how does it work? Well, it's actually not too hard. Let's go collect our pipes over here and connect them down to this guy. So we'll put down our power and conductive teleport pipes here. Frequency 10. So it needs energy, and it's going to need some biomelange. So let's grab some just out of here. And by placing it, whoops, wrong bucket, in here, you can see that the left side has a little bit of green now. Let's grab another bucket's worth, and of course you're going to want to pump this stuff in. You're not going to want to do this manually. All that's left now is to supply this guy with some energy. And you'll see it starts to distill the biomelange into biofuel. Pretty cool. And you can place your bucket in to collect the biofuel, and then you can use your biofuel to power a combustion engine. Let's give that a try right now. Place down our combustion engine, and put in the fuel, and give it a redstone signal. And I should probably give it a pipe to pump into or something. So I just gave this guy a little bit of work to do. Let's go ahead and put down that redstone torch now. And we'll see that the combustion engine is running along just fine. And it's producing its energy and converting into the still. So you can convert this stuff into biofuel as just shown and use it in a regular old combustion engine just like you would use normal fuel. But just keep in mind it's slightly less efficient than normal fuel, where it produces 4 energy units per tick as opposed to 5. So guys, I feel like this is a good wrapping up point for the Forestry mod part 2. Hope you guys have enjoyed checking it out, and believe it or not, I haven't quite covered everything yet. There's still some more to show in the Forestry mod, which again is an add-on to Buildcraft. So you're going to want to stay tuned for part 3, where I cover another type of engine, another type of fuel source, and another type of farm. I think there's 1 or 2 other things to show you as well. So stay tuned for part 3, and I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy.